You ever gone to a class and taken a test and you seriously have no clue as to what you're looking at on the page? You start looking around the room, everybody's writing except for you. I hate that feeling. And then the teacher says, okay, when you're done, you can turn in your test and leave. So you wait for like 5 minutes and then you turn in your test and the teacher gives you that look. You get the test back the next time you go to class and blow! Big old fat F. Then you say, bump this, I'm studying. But if you're like me, you suffer from chronic procrastination and you wait till the night before to even open your book to study, and then you study like a boss, like you cram sesh in effects. You got that book open and you're studying for hours. You quiz yourself, you cover up the answer, and you read yourself the question. You start hyping yourself up like, what? I'm gonna kill this test. Take the test and blow, big old fat F. So I start doing what some of you guys have probably done at some point. I cheat. Yes, I check my emails and I see what some of you ladies are saying. Swoozy, tell us stories about the old you. I know exactly what you're trying to say. You're trying to say, Swoozy, tell us about when you was a bad boy, because I like the bad boys. I'm gonna give you that today. Here we go. I cheat. But I did it wrong at first. I did what I call now freestyle cheating, where you just kind of turn your head and you peek off of the person next to you's paper. But see, I learned you can't do it like that because there's too many random variables where people write their answers all tiny and small and you can't even read it. It used to frustrate the crap out of me. Like, how am I supposed to cheat off you if your answer looks like Braille? People used to either write too tiny or they just wrote too sloppy. Because the sloppier your writing is, the longer I have to stare at your paper to figure out whatever your chicken scratch means. And it makes it pretty obvious that I'm trying to cheat. It would make me so mad. I would just want to take my pencil and throw it at them and then run over and rip up the text. How am I supposed to cheat off you when your handwriting looks like the alien hieroglyphics from Lost? Look, right there, you even drew a bird and the numbers from the hatch. So I tried to freestyle cheat and get my test back, and blow, big old fat F. I gave up. I was like, bump it. I'm gonna fail this dumb class. I don't care anymore. But the next test that we had, I started noticing some sketchiness going on in the class. Questionable sounds, like people coughing and sniffling. How come Cheyenne always develops these flu symptoms every time there's a test? And then I saw it. She coughed, and then like 8 people around her all of a sudden would write down an answer. And then she'd sniffle, and the same 8 would write another answer. And I'm like, what the flux capacitor is going on here? This is a multiple choice test. These people are cheating. I look over at the teacher, totally oblivious as to what's going on. I'm like, bump this. Everybody else is cheating. They didn't include me on this. Oh no, it's not going down like this. So I devised a plan. First thing I knew I needed, accomplices. So I got my friend Paul, and I got my friend Josh. I was gonna be the point man, Paul was gonna be the diversion, and Josh didn't do squat, he just got a free ride. So in history class, the day before we actually took the test, he would ask us some of the questions from the answer key. And I'd watch him real carefully. He'd go up to the podium, and he'd always take the answer key with him, and it was always multiple choice. And at the end of class, he would always leave the answer key up there. Alright, so then I get Paul and Josh and I explain my master plan to him. Blueprints, charts, and I go Michael Schofield prison break on these kids. So the day before a test, he gets up like he normally does, goes to the front podium, starts asking us a bunch of questions. The bell rings, he goes back to his desk. Now his name is Mr. Masters. Me and Paul would give the little signal. Paul walks over to him and he's like, Mr. Masters, I have some questions about the Embargo Act of 1807. So then I activate phase 2. I walk over to the podium and I open up the answer key and flip to the questions that are going to be on tomorrow's test, and I start talking all loud. Okay, attention class, I'm going to read off all the answers to the test. B, B, C, D, A, B, B, D, C. Mr. Masters looks up like, what are you doing? I'm like, don't worry. Nobody's gonna hear me. Who's gonna sit here and memorize all these answers anyway? A, B, B, C, 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 C. There's nobody here. So then he just shake his head and go back to answering Paul's question. Unbeknownst to the teacher, I've got a tape recorder tucked away in my pocket recording all the answers. Boom! It's not cheating. It's giving yourself a successful advantage. Like a boss. Me, Paul, and Josh meet out on the patio. It's time to memorize this bad boy. Take a wild guess what we do next. We turn those answers into a rap song. What? Let's go. B, B, C, yeah. A, G, D, yeah. A, C, B, B, C, B. Next day we walk into class. We about to handle our business. Stone cold. Game face is on. It's go time. We all sit on opposite ends of the class because we know we're about to get A's. What you gonna do about it? You can't say nothing. But see, now when I start taking these tests, everybody thinks I'm crazy because I'm sitting there mumbling to myself like, Lord of mercy. Get the test back, blow, big old fat A. The teacher's job is to grade the student's mind, not the paper. Think about that. And that's how we justified it. We weren't cheating, we were collaborating. Tiger blood, forget tiger blood running through your veins. We got ninja blood on deck. There's one more collaboration that went down, but if you guys promise not to do any collaborating / cheating in the meantime, I'll tell you guys that story in an upcoming video.